Ooh, look at that.
Wow, it's a different view today.
Yeah.
And with the blue hair.
Like, in the light, it's kind of great.
You know what's funny is
What?
I always thought, well, it's the Krisha and Frank show.
Hi.
And we're doing, it's a little off, a little unusual because we're...
Because we're a little unusual.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I think of may I?
Yeah.
I'm reminded of people we used to call blue hairs in the day.
The old blue hairs.
Like Mrs. Deleuze. Mrs. Deleuze was one of the librarians at the Crestwood Library, and her hair was blue. It was supposed to be silver, but she put bluing in it.
Yeah. There's an actual shampoo that my granny used to use that was like a purple that would help her silver.
Now, can I admit that I use that kind of shampoo? It's purple.
It does well.
It's absolutely purple.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of silver that, as you can see, it's going to, and the more the sun shifts, the more my head is going to flame out.
That's all right.
So,
I'm just shorter. No, I'm just playing. I'm just messing around. I had nothing to do.
Well, you were away for a week. You went to the beach.
I did.
Things.
Yeah.
But when you go back to work at Sweet Fanny Adams Theater, what will this do?
This will stay exactly as it is. I wear wigs.
So we won't see that.
No one will see this hair.
Oh, so don't look.
Don't
Because
look.
you're not supposed to see this.
Yeah, no, you can see it. Hi, birds. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night.
Well, it is odd because today, we decided Krisha's just back from her trip. So let's get together and reconnect.
Reignite.
What do you call it? Reignite?
Yeah.
Well, we have so much to say because every conversation we've had, whether it be text or whether it was, we did a video chat on the Amazon Echo, we did all of these things, but every conversation was like,
We can't talk. We've had to stop talking to each other because we don't talk about what's going on because we want people to know what's going, like we want to be able to react when we tell the story.
So now look, my whole side of my face is all shiny
Do
silver.
you want to switch places?
No, we can't because it will mess everybody
it's
up.
fine,
It has
it's
to.
fine.
I have to be on the side with the nose.
You gotta be on the nose
I gotta
side.
be on the nose side. Well, you're absolutely right because everything we want to, we've talked about it. Our business plans.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we should do an episode like this. We should do an episode like that. Maybe we can do a live episode here. We do this and that, the other thing. All these different ideas. We can talk about that all day.
And we have something. I mean, we had some brunch. Jerry the Brave made us some omelets. Thank you, Jerry.
Man.
Holy moly. It was so good.
I don't know if she'll watch this episode. I think enough
Eventually.
time will
She
go
might
by.
watch it 10 years from now, and the neighbor will be like, I heard.
Enough time will go by that I think I can safely say that she cranked it up multiple notches
Did she?
brunch-wise
Did
today
she?
for you.
That was really sweet. Thank you.
She was excited about it. We went to the store and bought things.
Well, and we were talking about, it's like she said it was really nice to cook for people, especially like she hasn't been able to in the COVID land.
Yes.
So,
yes. Well,
luckily I'm COVID free.
Yeah. So we're all good there, and that was so we had a nice brunch. Now here we are, and we moved the table. Well, in fact, we're not even at the same regular table. The podcast porch is
Directly behind
right
where we are.
But the way the sun is at this moment, because it's daylight saving time has ended, we're back in standard time. There's all of the light is different. It's all weird.
You know, everything's different.
My head looks like I'm on fire. But I want
We could scoot over. It looks all right.
Which way?
though.
This way?
Yeah.
All
'Cause
right.
I'm in the shade.
Yeah, you're cooler.
Yeah.
I'm hotter.
Yeah.
But because we moved the table to get a different view, plus we want to talk about what happened behind us.
Oh my! I know it's totally different back there.
And but yes, with all these things, I've been waiting to tell you about that and about what happened at the bathroom at church and what happened.
And I have a dolphin that I've got to talk to you about, and trying to navigate to a place that was hard to get to.
So we probably should start because I like Regis. I want to be Regis.
Right.
And Regis would not talk to Kelly
or
before,
Kathy Lee.
Yeah, before the show. But Kathy Lee understood it. Kelly got her feelings hurt.
Right.
Because she and Ryan Seacrest, they're like buddy.
Right.
So, but you get it. You understand that that's why in fact, Krisha more than anybody is the one telling me to shut up because I'm the one who wants to blurt out.
So I got to tell you, I'm like, stop talking to me.
So
really, it's just I don't want to talk to you.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
So let's start with you went to the beach.
I went to Florida, and it was.
You're talking like a New York Floridian.
I went to Florida.
Florida. That was low.
I'd never been to the Gulf Coast. We went to Tampa Bay, Treasure Island, St. Pete area.
Right in time for the Rays to lose the World Series.
right in time. They lost the World Series
While
we
you were there.
Trump had a rally while I was there.
Was the World Series in
No.
Tampa or in Los Angeles? When you were there?
LA.
Okay.
But
That's just how closely I've followed it.
we stayed very isolated in our little beach area. We didn't do much. We didn't go into places.
You
we
posted
stayed outside.
a picture on I think it was Instagram. Maybe it was some other one. Where your feet looked absolutely leprous.
Right here.
Oh, do I have that picture? I guess
You
I
do.
All right, when I dream of Genie over here does that, a picture has to magically appear. Let me give you a little more room for your giant feet because I'm going to zoom in and make them look even worse.
Okay, but my giant feet. It was the shadow.
But they look like you've got...
You were like, why are your feet black?
No, seriously, it looked like you had the world's worst circulation or some kind
I
of...
looked like purple hands.
Some kind of illness. I thought, oh my... Or maybe, you heard about the romantic black sand beaches of Saint-Tropez.
It was none of those. It was just the shadow.
I don't even know if that is the real place for it. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
The black sand beaches of Saint-Tropez.
The black sand beaches
Picture
of
yourself
Saint-Tropez.
in the fantasy world. That used to be a commercial for something, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I thought had happened, that you had stuck your feet
In some black
darker sand.
No,
Okay.
it was just a shadow from my
So-
perspective.
All right.
So I went to the Treasure Island Waffle House.
That, can I do it?
Yep.
That's a nice mermaid.
Wasn't that awesome?
Look at that.
It was on the side of this Waffle House that was it had a patio. The Waffle House had an outdoor patio.
We need that.
I brought you a gift back from
you did?
Yeah, from that Waffle
Aw,
House.
thank you.
I don't have it with me.
Well, we'll meet again.
Yes.
But that's
I
really
haven't unpacked yet.
that's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to set this up a little differently so I'm
So
seeing the glare.
You're fine.
But all right, so that Waffle House though, imagine if we had outdoor Waffle House dining here in
Right?
East Tennessee,
I would be able to go to Waffle House.
because it's crowded in there. I know they've got the plexiglass,
It's too much. I can't.
but it's
just
not.
Too,
I don't.
It's
I,
too
I
peoply.
feel like it's not enough.
Yeah, like it's too much people. It's just too peoply. It's not a time to be out doing peoply things.
Yeah.
But we went to the Dali Museum, which was
Is that how you say it?
Salvador Dali.
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 Because
Salvador Dali.
I've always said Dolly, like hello Dolly.
Hello, Dali.
Yeah.
I mean, I may be mispronouncing it,
No,
but
no,
they
no.
called it the Dali
If
Museum while we were there.
they're the ones who have the museum.
Uh-huh.
They can call if they. I'm gonna have to change and go to Dali,
Dali.
right?
So, yes. Yeah, that's how they said
He's
it.
had the big mustache.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And, they have 96 original Dali artwork
Yeah.
in this museum. And we met a wonderful woman named Judith who took us, basically she was the tour guide who can't do tours because of COVID, so she just wandered around and told people, and she took a liking to us. And we got to hear some really great stories, but
Why did you cry? Or did you just say that?
No, I did cry. I cried because
I get these mysterious texts like, crying at a museum, we'll tell you on the show.
I cried because the persistence of memory, which is something that you had commented.
That's the melting clocks.
The melting
if
clocks.
You know, if you only know one thing about Salvador Dali, it's the melting clocks picture.
It's one of his most famous, and
With the coffee cup.
Oh, it's back there, right behind you.
Thank you.
I knew that that's not there. It's actually at MoMA in New York.
All right. Did you see it there?
I did not, because I didn't go to MoMA. I only went to the other one.
Okay. Yoma.
Yoma. No, what's the other museum in?
The Metropolitan Museum.
Yeah, I went to
of
the
Art.
Met. We
Wait,
didn't
the
make it
MoMA
there.
is the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art.
Correct.
And the Met is the other one.
Right. We went to the Met in New York, but I knew that persistence of memory was not at this museum. What I did not know and I had no idea existed was the disintegration of the persistence of memory,
Which is the second painting.
which is the second
it's
painting.
the sequel.
I didn't even know that existed, and I came across it, and it jammed me like right in my gut holes, and I cried. I cried at the museum in my mask with not many people
What
around.
about Judith?
Judith wasn't around at that time. I had wandered off alone.
She should have slapped some sense into you, I would hope.
And I think I'd wandered off alone. Why? Did you cry at art?
She probably knows you're going to cry and knows to get out of the way because she's there every day.
So do you want to know about the getting to the museum first, or do you want to know the cacophony that happened after leaving the museum?
Well, I'm going to give you a minute to think about that because when you said disintegration,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately thought of bonezones.com.
Ooh, bone zones.
Because they talk about disintegration, decomposition,
Yeah, but don't forget the S.
right, the persistence of your bones, because your bones stick around longer than your flesh does. They say Dr. Bass,
Yeah.
Dr. Bill Bass, the great forensic anthropologist and lecturer, hasn't had a lot of gigs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think I just saw that. Remember, I was talking in an earlier episode that I thought we were going to have a gig in February at the Roseland Literary Festival. I think that's now off the table.
Yeah, it's...
So, really, the way to connect with Dr. Bass is through the books, through the great Jefferson Bass mystery novels,
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. I want to read them again.
the nonfiction books, which are Death's Acre, The Origins of the Body Farm, and Beyond the Body Farm, which is all these amazing stories of when he travels around the world to solve cases, like or dig up the Big Bopper, or do whatever he's got to
Yeah.
do. The Leoma Patterson case, all these wonderful cases that I could practically give the lecture,
You could.
and God forbid anything should happen to Dr. Bass, I may have to.
I just had that thought and I didn't say it, but...
No, all right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you off. That's something we can talk about off the show.
Yay, look at that.
There's something we can
Now
say
we have
for,
to make notes of things we can talk about off the show.
off the air. But the great thing about it is, on Halloween, I wore my Dr. Bill Bass skeleton T-shirt.
Yes, it's really cool.
Because it's bright orange for the Vols, and which is perfect for Halloween, and it's got him as a skeleton riding a bicycle over a bridge of other bones.
Which is awesome. And you can get that at bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. Along with hats,
Yes,
signed autographed books.
yes, and the challenge keys, the key tags, the key
Yeah,
rings.
yeah.
Just show that you are interested in all of the great stuff that Dr. Bass has done, and because when you're friends from Christmas. Bean is always hard to shop for. My friend Bean, and I know he watches the show, but
Hi, Bean.
I don't know if I can mail this stuff to England or how it even works.
I think you
you
can.
know, just
I think you can. You can't go there, but you can mail it.
But that's the kind of thing. This is the kind of great gift for anyone who says to you about when you you live in Tennessee. Can you smell the body farm? You know what? Send him
The
or
scent
her
of the body farm. It's the
next-
new Glade plug-in.
the next best thing,
Yeah.
which is some Bone Zones memorabilia. Bonezones.com.
Don't forget the S.
All right, so now I gave you a minute there
I-
to talk about, because of disintegration of memory, the disintegration of the persistence.
The disintegration of the persistence of memory.
Salvador Dali,
Yes.
which is where Krisha went on her break, and of course you didn't notice.
No, you had no
because
idea I was gone.
Dear Krisha worked hard to
Dear Frank worked hard.
pre-record a bunch of shows. There's one where it's like Halloween or something like that, and you're like, oh, look at the artwork from my children, and you can see the date on your phone. It's October
cute.
20 something.
It's fine. Who cares? You guys know the truth.
Yeah, we don't do the podcast live, although
I think we're gonna have to.
we'll do. That's why we need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to the YouTubes, please. Once we get to 1,000, we can go have live chats on the tube.
Which will be fun.
I think so.
Which will be a really nice thing. So we went to the Dali Museum, and it was in, St. Petersburg, St. Pete area, and really nice, cute little town. It had breakfast outside, a little.
At Waffle House?
No, we went to a little cafe.
What, other restaurants have outdoor
Walked
dining?
around, cool,
Not just-
neat little shops, got some jewelry, and so we're on the way. And I realize in this moment, I'm getting warm. In this moment,
Something's she's getting worked up over.
I
this
am
story. Hand to hand?
I'm a control freak. I am a control freak.
So do not touch her sweater.
Only in certain ways, and this is how I'm a control freak.
All right.
He was driving.
Yeah.
I was passenger.
Now you said when I drove us to Von Orr, you made a comment, and I kind of brushed it off because I thought, oh, she was just saying that to be nice. But you said specifically that you normally don't let the other person drive.
It makes me crazy.
But you said I did okay.
You did. You were great.
Because you trusted me to do it. And then now thinking back, the only other time I ever recall being in a car with you was years ago. We were driving around to your childhood haunts, and you drove.
Yes.
But that made sense, but now there's a double reason why you drove.
There's so much, and I'm realizing it about myself. And here's the thing. He is a fantastic driver. Boyfriend is a fantastic driver. He drove us halfway down and halfway back. I drove more than I should have because I'm a control freak.
But you admit it.
I totally admit it. But I hadn't admitted it to him, and we haven't been dating very long. And a lot of roads were closed off on the way to the museum. There was a sign that said the Dali Museum, and it was like a temporary sign posted on the side of the road. And then
This is much nicer than my memory of what I did when I was there.
it pointed an arrow,
Yeah.
and the arrow pointing, Dali Museum, arrow pointed down a one-way street, and you were going to have to drive down the wrong way, and it had do not enter signs all over.
Okay, so that's weird.
Okay.
Kind of reminds me of the time I took Frank Jr. to the Burt Reynolds Museum in Jupiter, Florida. And we followed the directions to get there, and it said we were there, except we were on a newly constructed, since they bridge, and
It was below you.
So, I don't know.
So you know how
There was a sign that said Burt Reynolds Museum down there.
You know how, like, when you're trying to find your way around somewhere, one person's trying to navigate, one person's trying to drive, and it gets a little tense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it got a little tense because every road in this town was closed.
Why?
Because the Grand Prix had been in town, the race car. So they'd had all these roads closed out by the bay for the Grand Prix.
If they're going to drive race cars on the street, you can't have regular traffic.
Right, so they were taking everything down, but the roads were still closed. And the only way that we could figure out to get there was down this one-way street, and boyfriend would not turn down the one-way street.
But the Dali...
But the sign
Dali.
said, the temporary sign said, pointing down the one-way street.
See, now you should have said, go ahead down there, it'll be surreal.
Which is great. And I made that joke, and Judith was like, oh, you're not even in the surrealism anymore. You're in neo-blow. I'm like, stop it, Judith. He's only known for his, Dali's only known for his surrealism, but he was...
there's one Dali
he had
joke.
He had four...
You got melting clocks, and you got surreal.
He had 4 decades, so of course. Anywho.
All right. Judith.
So it gets a little more tense because me, if I were driving, I would have turned down that one-way street and
what's
parked.
going to happen? Yeah. Because chances are it's closed from the other way anyway because of the Grand Prix. There's things are happening. All right.
So, nope. And so we parked several miles away
over.
and walked in. And when we got to the front, boyfriend said to the security man, "Hey man, how with the roads all closed,
how are we supposed to
How is
get
everybody getting to this parking lot?" And he goes, "Well, the only way right now is to turn down a one-way street."
Okay, so now...
I said...
Because this is the classic. The absolute classic I told you so moment that every...
I didn't say anything.
You know, that's nice. That's mature.
And I'm glad I didn't.
That actually, because, I mean, I can think of situations. This may come as a shock to you. But I can think of one or two times.
Just one or two.
Where it turns out that I was correct. And when when I try to say, well, it's like I was saying, it's harmful, it's hurtful, and it's upsetting.
Right. And because honestly, in the whole thing, it didn't matter. We had a nice walk along the bay. It was fine. Right. We got there. It didn't matter.
Because, I mean, I only have 2 sisters. I can't...
So if I had
I'm
said...
not going to get new ones.
If I had said I told you so,
yeah,
it would have meant that when I locked my purse in the locker at the Dali Museum, because you're not allowed to carry bags in, and I had locked it in the free locker, and not only could not remember which locker I locked it in, but also could not remember the code that I set. And he said before we walked away, "You should probably take a picture so you don't forget." And I was like, "No, I'm good." He, in turn, did not told you so me when I had to walk to security and get somebody to come unlock several of the free lockers to get my purse out of said locker. So, lesson learned. Control freak. Also, I did a very good job of being like, it's fine. Because I did. I also cried in front of the lockers because I was mad at myself.
Did Dali paint the lockers? Because that would be a logical...
No, but I did.
I think there's an episode of an old-time game show, probably What's My Line, where Dali is the celebrity guest.
Yes. Oh,
Have you watched this?
No, but I
think it's on Amazon.com or Amazon Prime. I've seen it, but it's been a few years since I've seen it. And maybe it's the one, because there's so many of those old panel shows that I would watch and wish that I were on.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted to pick any of those people, Kitty Carlisle would be sitting next to Orson Bean, who would be sitting next to whomever.
That's the one where they all put up the cards, right?
Yeah, you have to figure out the job of the person. What's my line?
Yeah.
But there was a special one at the end where they would put on their blindfolds, and a celebrity would come out. Because Dali, you would, even in 1950, whatever, that's the hawk, you would recognize
the mustache.
Dali, and so that was the bit. So that we have to find that for you.
What was the game show where it was all the celebrities, and then you had the two people that it was like so little Johnny.
That could have been Match Game.
Was it Match
Or
Game?
it could have been Hollywood Squares.
No, it wasn't Hollywood Squares.
Match Game, Hollywood Squares, you had 9 celebrities doing tic-tac-toe.
This one's
Match
the 2
Game,
panels.
you had 6
Match
celebrities
Game.
in 2 tiers.
Which I played.
I did, I wrote a Match Game for a church fundraiser, and you were one of my celebrities.
Yeah. At the time, I was regionally famous.
Who were you with? Were you with the year with Kristen Farley or the year with Lori Tucker?
Kristen Farley.
Because I wrote a joke at Kristen Farley's expense that I'm never going to live it down. So I don't even know if I should bother. I mean, she's not on TV anymore. I could probably say it.
Yeah.
But the joke, and I wrote a joke at everyone's expense. There was one at your expense. It was 3 priests because it was a church fundraiser, and then 3 celebrities.
Wearing superhero costumes.
It was you and Farley and maybe Michelle Silva. Okay, so I had 3 men, 3 women. It was a nice balance. 3 local media celebrities, 3 people that the church crowd was rooting for because they were there to raise money.
Because we know they don't root for the non-church crowd. Thanks, 2013.
You did not burn up. You were not smoked.
No.
It was fun.
It was awesome.
So
they had wine.
So I had jokes about all of them. And the joke for, that might have been Michelle Silva's joke, but the joke for for Farley was Kristen Farley has a very important job at Channel 6. It's called Waiting for Lori Tucker to Blank. And her eyes, they're on fire. But my wife, who is friends with Farley, is in the audience and is like throwing hand signs with suggestions, like of safe answers.
Yes.
Because that's the thing about Match Game, is there's a safe answer to all of them.
Right. Which is typically the correct answer.
Also, but the audience's mind goes to the unsafe, dirty,
like,
rude, mean answer, and that's the bit, and that's the comedy of it. Is that those few moments while the audience thinks of the worst, and then the celebrities and the contestant have to pull that plane out of a nosedive.
Yeah. Ooh. So what was it?
Waiting for Lori Tucker to the safe answer.
Yeah.
To say, and now here's Kristen, and to throw it to you.
And
something like that.
She survived that match game. That was actually a really fun night.
Yeah, it was a good time. Well, we didn't explain the backdrop. It's time.
No!
I have to tell you that part of the reason we're here is you wouldn't even know that this is the same backdrop of the podcast porch. I mean, we're just moved into the shade is all we did because it was too sunny over there. But if I were to show you that we have coasters
That's a big old
for
coaster.
the show.
That's a crowler coaster.
Do you think this is really poplar?
As popular as we are.
That's what I was told, that these are poplar, and
Smells like wood.
And there's a long story about how one of our most loyal viewers and listeners, Steve's Tree Service, did a job. I hired them, I paid them, they came and they did the job, taking down the pine trees
that we have previously spoken about that you needed to get down because the Californians were going to move in.
Right, and even though they're not moving in, I went ahead and had the pine trees taken down.
It behooved you to do so.
But Steve's like, when I watched the show, and Renee, his wife's like, when we watch the podcast porch, we see that dead tree covered in kudzu vines, which was...
It's gone now.
Well, this is it. This was the
dead tree covered in
kudzu. I can
kudzu.
tell you how we almost killed poor Wayne. On a future episode of the Krisha and Frank Show, you're not going to want to miss it.
Holy crap. He almost killed Wayne. That's a hella teaser. Well, now I'm sorry I talked about my stupid control issues.
I was nice.
He almost killed Wayne.
I did not. Did not interrupt, right?
It's my
what did
fault.
we just talk about?
I'm sorry. It's my fault.
I was here. I'm interested. You got some detritus from the. There's a leaf.
I've always got something on me.
All right. So get your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are we're making excellent progress on our fight to get to, look at all this sawdust, on our fight to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, which means we can start doing live YouTubes and monetize the channel. So we're asking you, please, 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 to spread the word. And thanks for your help on social media. That's awesome as well.
You can follow Krisha and Frank on all of the socials.
Deborah Malden has been inviting everyone she knows, so we have gone up hundreds of likes on Facebook thanks to Deborah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
We've got from Melanie Bartow is out there sharing, and all these other folks are next door neighbor Nancy. I don't know if you saw her, but she was spying on us a second ago.
Oh, was she? I didn't see her.
She pulled a total Gladys Kravitz. And she was...
We got to get out of here.
All right, wait a second. Hang on a second. Because I want to put the subscribe button.
Oh,
so let's say goodbye.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's the Krisha and Frank Show.
Bye.
All right, no. No, don't drink. So you gotta stay still. You hear yourself. It's only a few more seconds. Okay, has that been 10 seconds, you think? It's gotta be 10 seconds. All right, whatever. There you go.